You know, it goes up and down in life. Some days you feel very committed and excited and in it, and other days you can't feel that same enjoyment. And I believe it's more about how we are facing the things that we are in, rather than, you know, quit it or move into something else. That's something that is very true for me with my fiancée, for example. Like, it goes up and down. Some days we are not best of friends. Some days we are fighting. Some days we are arguing. Some days we don't understand each other's communication language, you know? And instead of letting that determine the whole relationship, we choose to face those ups and downs as good as we can. And it's almost like instead we are like raising the standard of what is our natural state. In the beginning of the relationship, we're fighting quite often, I would say, or rather that would be like we would see patterns come up. We would feel triggered by each other. We would like try to navigate them together as good as we could, which always brought us closer, and it still does. But it was more frequent before in our lives. Now I would say it's a little bit more frequent again, because like for you who don't know, our son passed away a month ago. So some days we are in different seasons in our grief, and we are in different places in our minds and in our bodies and everything. So it's a layer of grief on top of a relationship, which makes some like disagreements or misunderstandings feel even bigger. Sometimes. Today's one of those days. And still to know that this is just a weather passing in our relationship. We don't determine the quality of our relationship and our love on, you know, if we are in a fight or not, because that just feels very like life doesn't work in that way. It's like the same thing to like expect it will be sunny every single day outside. Is that's not reality. Some days there will be more clouds. Some days it will be really rainy or even stormy. And it's to remember that behind all the weathers on the sky, there is the sun always shining with its presence. And that rings so true for me as well when it comes to like devoting myself to record a video every day for 90 days to see what will unfold out of that. I'm just felt the calling to do this, so now I'm doing it. And that's also a part of it, to like show up for the devotional practice and for my work and for my mission, even on the days where I don't feel like recording or sitting down with the camera. This being one of those days where I like really struggled for the first 5 minutes recording, and then suddenly I got a thread that felt true that I could start to follow, and now I'm in it. I feel I am kind of moved by something that feels real, that feels true. And that's what I'm putting into words right now. And before in my life, I really thought that, you know, you should only follow your inspirations, for example. But what if, like, this is interesting, what if we are always inspired towards our most expansive path, but we can't see it because of the weather sometimes? What if the sun is always shining, showing us where to look, and sometimes we can't know the sun because of the clouds on the sky? What if the times we don't feel like, you know, when we hesitate on our partner, is this the one for me? Have I made the wrong decision to be with this person? What if those moments of hesitation is also determined on the weather that is going on? So I always tend to like go back to when I feel the most neutral and the most at peace within myself. This is where, when I ask, like, do I want to commit to my fiancée? Do I want to commit to this devotional video practice of mine? And the answer in these moments are always yes. And then it is to show up even when it's stormy, even when it's raining, even when it's really windy, and still be in it. And just that's devotion, I would say, because this is the practice that is a little bit confrontative. Like for me today, to like sit down and talk into the camera, even if it didn't feel unnatural to do so, it didn't feel like I had anything to say for the first 5 minutes. I've just came from my apartment where my fiancé is, and the climate between us right now isn't the best, and I felt like I needed some time to just be with myself. I expressed this with her, and also said that, like, I'm open to be here for you if you want that, but then you need to express that with me. And she didn't, and I choose to go outside, and now I'm sitting here out in nature, and I'm also sensing that my body's starting to like open up a little bit more from when I started to begin this recording. And that's the beautiful thing about like being in devotion, being devotional to a relational thing, like a relation, like a romantic relationship, or in relation to me, like showing up on camera every day. Like, life is relational. And like I've discovered that the deepest spiritual practices is not to just sit and meditate all day long, not engaging with life, but rather to actually move into the areas where I feel called, and trust that, and stay consistent and devoted to it. And on the days where it's really wobbly, or like the storm is coming, not take it too seriously. Instead of like, where's the sun, where's the sun, where's the sun, when there are clouds outside, I'm just noticing that that there are clouds outside, and I accept it, and I continue with the same devotion as before, because I know that the weather will always be changing, but the sun will always shine behind. And this is important to remember. And this is something that I remind myself all the time of. And something that I'm reminded of today, speaking in front of the camera today, that even on the days that we want to quit, even on the days where it's like, nah, but I don't feel it today. What if we switch that up to like showing up anyways, but not from a place of like, I'm gonna do it anyways, like I'm forcing myself into it. Because that's not nice either. That's just like putting on a lot of pressure and performance. But instead, like, how can I show up today in this setting? Like, okay, the framework is like, okay, I'm in front of the camera, so this is my little setting here. This is the boundaries that I have. Okay, I'm gonna show up and sit down and speak in front of the camera. So that's the outer boundaries. But within those boundaries, within that frame, I'm allowed to just be me and show myself as I am. That's my choice. Instead of like, now I'm gonna perform something, now I'm gonna be of value for someone. But rather, I choose to show up with devotion for the practice that I've committed to, and I will tend to my internal weather without pressuring myself into something that I'm not. So that's why like the first 5 minutes were like, I was just rambling. I was not like saying anything that I felt was valuable to share. Or even like for myself, more than like, okay, I'm allowing myself to be here. I'm allowing myself to express myself where I am. And the same goes with my romantic relationship. It's like I'm showing up for myself and her every single day. And even when we don't understand each other, or we have different needs, or we have a hard time expressing our needs, it's still like I'm showing up with devotion for her and for myself. I'm not gonna like quit or end the relationship because we have a storm coming. That's just like, that's to underestimate what actually wants to unfold. And that's to not really appreciate the things that we are handed. Like, this is the hand that I got. This is the hand of cards that I got. How can I play these cards as well as I possibly can? That's the question. And it takes some guts to not walk away when it gets hard, and instead expand through whatever life show us. And for me, that becomes very real in both my romantic relationship and also my devotional practice here on YouTube now. And I feel complete for now, and that was basically what I wanted to share. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.